Ah, imagine the pep rallies, the smell of teen spirit in high school. Do you remember the days? Yes, this is the Renfield Foxes, a high school basketball team that we're about to introduce. Please don't get the hives. High school wasn't that bad. Average age 24. Market size large because they're in New Jersey. This is the New Jersey Renfield Foxes. High school team made up by 2K. So we're just going to run with it. Starting with their point guard, who's basically out of high school, I would say. Kyrie Irving. He played 11 games at Duke, then was injured, and then got drafted number 1. So he really never had a college career, honestly. Never really had a relationship with Duke like that. But he has more years played in high school, and he averaged 26 points and 10 assists. So he was pretty much destined to be a number 1 or top 5 pick, really. But the things he was doing in high school really separated him from the rest of the pack. Also, a little fun fact: before there was overtime, shout out to the overtime elite team, there was Ball is Life. If you didn't have a Ball is Life mixtape, you weren't really a top prospect. You feel me? One of the most legendary ones is John Wall's high school one, Derrick Rose's high school one, and Kyrie Irving's high school Ball is Life. You know, there's a lot of Ball is Life high school mixtapes that are legendary at this point. But the reason Kyrie Irving's is also legendary is because he's doing the same things he's doing in the NBA that he was doing. He's doing that shit in high school too. And, you know, high school, you're a little bit more unstoppable. He had a little bit more free range. The crowd was a little bit more into it. Just a lot more stuff like that. The second one we have now is Mikey Williams. Mikey Williams is about to start his senior year in high school. He's an actual high school prospect. Played for the Vertical Academy. They pretty much are relying on Mikey Williams to be the guy. And he's pretty much the guy. He's 6'2". I imagine he's going to grow a little bit, as most players do once they get drafted. I can project him to be at least 6'3", maybe. He's averaging 28 points, 4 assists. So he's not really too much of a passer as much. He's kind of like a combo guard. You know, kind of a 2/1 sometimes. But he's going to the rim of recklessness. The next one we have is Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady was drafted out of high school. He didn't go to college. He averaged 27 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. So he was 6'8", 210, and pretty much did everything. He wasn't necessarily the fastest on the court, but he had long arms and just a smart game to where everything just looked so smooth. Everything just looked so easy to Tracy McGrady, and it looked like that when he was on the Orlando Magic. He was drafted to the Raptors with his cousin Vince Carter, that he later found out was his cousin. Then was traded to Orlando Magic and really did his thing. Then we got Rashard Lewis, who was also drafted out of high school. He averaged 28 and 12. He wasn't doing as much shooting that he was doing in the NBA in high school. He was just more so mid-range and can roll to the basket. But averaging 28, he did it consistently. And he just was very fundamental at the time. Arvydas Sabonis is the son of Arvydas Sabonis out of Lithuania. He went to Gonzaga. He didn't really average like a crazy amount. I think it was like 14 points. You know, in college you don't really average anything crazy. Also, in European basketball, it's so team oriented that you're not gonna have somebody averaging like 30 points or something like that. So he's pretty solid. Jeremy Lin, also known as Linsanity. If you don't know about Linsanity, that was an era in basketball in 2011. He played for the Knicks when they had Carmelo Anthony and Amari Stoudemire. He didn't win any championships or anything like that. They barely went to the playoffs. But the things he was doing in games, because he came out of nowhere, he was actually 5 years into the league. He played for at the time, the D League, now called the G League, and came out of Harvard. So he's the first I think he's the first basketball player to start on a team out of Harvard, and he's the first Chinese American player to do what he's doing. There's Chinese players that play in the NBA, but Chinese American, like you're Chinese for real Chinese because your parents are Chinese, but you were raised in America. It's different. It was different for everybody. Christian Laettner played in high school, but his prime years were in Duke. As a college player, he was the bad boy, the most hated. People didn't really like Christian Laettner, just one, because they didn't like Duke, and two, he was kind of a dirty player. I think he's the originator of Tyler Hansbrough, if you remember Tyler Hansbrough, who played for their rival North Carolina. But he has a little bit of range. He shoots a three every now and then, but really shoots mid-range. Has post moves. Not the fastest, can't jump the highest, but really smart. Hate to say smart, you're talking about white guys because, that's like the thing announcers do. But, he's really a smart player, and a dirty one at that. RJ Barrett came out of high school as the number one prospect back when Zion Williamson and Cam Reddish were in high school. So, yes, he was ranked above Zion Williamson in high school because he's 6'6", can pass, can shoot, can go to the rim, can dribble, can play make. I mean, he has everything. He was the full package. He went to Duke with Zion Williamson and Cam Reddish. That was the number 1, 2, and 3 high school prospects all on the same team. I think that kind of hurt his status as a draft prospect. He got drafted to the Knicks pretty high, but at the same time, I feel like he had a bigger hill to go on his development because he wasn't by himself at a college. Lance Stevenson, a.k.a. Born Ready. He was called Born Ready because he was literally born ready, okay? He comes from Lincoln High School, okay? Lincoln High School has a legacy. If you ever seen Through the Fire, Sebastian Telfair, straight out of high school, gets drafted to the NBA. Before Sebastian Telfair, the coach coached Stephon Marbury. Stephon Marbury is Sebastian Telfair's cousin. So the next guy after Sebastian Telfair in the 04 draft that they had coming up was Lance Stevenson. Why? Because he was playing in the EBC in the Rucker Park back when NBA players were playing on the Rucker Park and stuff like that when he was 14. So he was literally born ready. Obi Toppin, unknown out of high school. Nobody knew him. He was 6'8", 220, and just a regular kid trying to play basketball, not going to the AAUs, the ranked stuff. You don't see him like Kyrie Irving in Jordan jerseys balling out in Osing High School. He's just trying to do his thing. Ends up going to Dayton College. From Dayton College, he becomes a man, cuts his hair, and goes crazy. He's a rookie right now. I believe, in the NBA. So he's still developing. Actually, I think it might be his second year, but he's either a rookie or his second year. Either way, he just got out of Dayton, top prospect out of college, because he became a man. Okay, he can shoot, he can dribble a little bit, he can go to the rim. He has athleticism out the ass. He was just in the dunk contest, this past dunk contest. Josh Giddey out of Australia. He's a rookie this year. He's a 6'8" shooting guard, point guard, can do it all. Cody Zeller, veteran, 7 foot, rebound, block, offense. Taylor Horton Tucker, he's a prospect, 6'4", 215. We got to see what's coming on him. I don't know yet. Ersan Ilyasova, veteran power forward, can shoot the ball. Udoka, I believe, used to play for the Spurs, is the head coach. Pretty young guy. I think this is his first year being a head coach. Mid-range scoring, three-point scoring, and layups. Steals, blocks, and perimeter defense are the weaknesses. I do see a lot of scoring happening. There's a lot of scoring, especially with Kyrie and Tracy McGrady. Speaking of Tracy McGrady, this is Tracy McGrady and his T-Mac 3s. That's the home jersey. This is the away jersey. Renfield Foxes. They got the American flag, sponsored by Jordan. They had the fox on the home and away, but the fox is on the side of the shorts right here on the alternate. And the Renfield Foxes gym. It's going to be a high school gym. The floor is going to say Renfield and all that stuff.